You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. NDC youths complain of segregative awarding of contracts and opportunities to PF-aligned youths. Lack of readily available exhibits in the case of 9 arrested UPND cadres forces an adjournment. Health Minister directs ZAMBIA to withdraw all unlicensed COVID-19 medicines being administered on patients. And in international news, Brazil approves 2 vaccines as death toll nears 210,000. And in sports news, Zambia takes on Tanzania in Chan opener on Tuesday. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. On a sad note, wife to National Democratic Congress NDC Vice President Ricky Joseph Akafumba, Christina Akafumba, has died. Mrs. Akafumba passed away Monday around 02:30 hours in the Lundazi District Hospital. The sad development has been confirmed to Camnet TV News by the party's Secretary General Bridget Atanga. Mr. Akafumba serves both as Mr. Chimba Kambwili's legal counsel as well as presidential running mate. When Mr. Kambwili was abandoned by his lawyers in one of the many cases, Mr. Akafumba took charge of his cases. On Sunday this week, the country also lost former Gender Deputy Minister Esther Banda, who died in Lusaka after a short illness. Meanwhile, UPND National Elections Chairman Michael Nyambe has died. Mr. Nyambe died Monday morning after an illness. UPND Secretary General Stephen Katuka has confirmed the sad development in a media statement. And moving on in the news, youths in the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC party have accused the ruling Patriotic Front PF government of segregation in the awarding of contracts and opportunities to youths in the country. According to NDC National Youth Chairman, who once served as the PF councillor in Kitwe, Charles Kabwita, says youths from other political parties are not allowed near opportunities aimed at benefiting their welfare. He complains that even youth empowerment funds aimed at helping youths regardless of their political affiliations would still be given on political lines, especially to youths in the PF. Mr. Kabwita is also saddened with the continued politicking of the Mulungushi textiles, which he says is only opened during an election period. He wonders why each time an election is approaching, government finds it ideal to reopen the defunct public institution, or in the name of politics.
I wish to appeal to the youths on the Copper Belt to reflect over the performance of the Patriotic Front. I think if you remember too well, His Excellency the President promised the youths on the Copper Belt that they will be empowered not only through job creation, but they will get Black Mountain to give it to the youths. To date, if we look or we take stock on the number of the youths that have benefited from the Black Mountain, you will realize that it is just the youths who are on party structures of the PF This is unfortunate, and what we need to do as youths is to look at the new leadership that will not look at one's political affiliation, but take all Zambians to benefit, and especially the youths. This is the case of Mlungushi Textiles in Kavu. Each time when we are heading towards elections, pronouncements comes from the leadership of the PF that they will reopen, and they do a fake or stage managed official opening, and after 7 days after the elections are done, they disappear. This is bad leadership.
After passionate appeals for help from Good Samaritans by a 31-year-old woman of Mukushi district who traveled to Lusaka in search of her husband who had burnt her 6-year-old son, the woman has been helped. The man, identified as Morgan Mambwe, is accused of torching his 6-year-old stepson after its mother failed to serve him food on time. The woman was seeking for financial assistance to enable her to go back to Mukushi after her attempts to locate her husband so as to have him arrested proved futile. According to her, she ran out of both money and food in pursuit of her suspected criminal husband. The woman, identified as Memory Chilala, has since been assisted with some clothes for her son and transport money to enable her travel back to Mukushi. More in this report.
Last year, Memory Chilala told Camnet TV that on the material day, her husband got upset and resorted to locking up his stepson, who is 6 years old, and setting him on fire after she delayed cooking shima for him. Chilala disclosed that her husband, whom she has been married to for 5 years, failed to understand when she requested him to wait for a while because she had just knocked off from work. Her husband, who abandoned her after the sad incident, told her to link up with him in Lusaka, and upon reaching the capital city, he was nowhere to be seen until now.
wise ku ground kuchinika walanzanga nayi mana ku ground kuchinika nafika kulya ati wo mwafika futi phone bashini kuna ishile bwekera ku depo kuna mbiro kulala mu depo na isa lala mu 5 days mu depo market kuba ishile nsenda bambi na ishile nefu monishiri na 7 months kuba ishile nsenda bana kubambi ati tule ikala bonse paka okapa.
And Monday, 18th January 2021, some women from named churches in Kanyama constituency came to her aid by helping her to mobilize transport money and clothes for the baby.
So yeye aliye first to tusamba tuamsambika tuamfike fya kufuala funa kitile door to door na songeshe fya kufuala ma blanketi nendalama tuisafika na kuwashukuru na bena batu bikira pembyo fya ishile kwa nempia kwa na 265
lama tuwalamu afuirisha alombe amano kulire so kulanda champeri amano ambe ko kushitisha ko tumoto akulanda ati engasungira mwaba bana bantu takwanisha okulala alafye mu malodi nangu mu market nangu apalala palalo bantu ichalo na chishupa ndi akasango okulanda ati bamuchitata.
She has expressed gratitude for the gesture, but she's however calling on well-wishers to help her with capital so that she can start a business in Mukushi and fend for her family. Fledley Kiliteta is Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights Operations Manager.
Daughter. She's just squatting by the well-wisher in Chinika. May other would be well-wishers again come on board to assist her, maybe at least with a reasonable amount so that she can stand on her feet by doing a simpler business in any market, so that after that she can organize herself and get back to Masansa in Mukushi. As you can see, the baby is just 8 days old.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The state Monday morning appealed for an adjournment in a case where 9 opposition United Party for National Development UPND cadres who were arrested for escorting their leader Hakainde Hichilema for questioning at force headquarters due to non-availability of exhibits before court for the accused persons. According to state prosecutors representing the state in the matter, they are accused of not going forward with the case was that the arresting officer keeping the exhibits failed to show up before court. The state could not give reasons why the said officer could not be before the court. The cadres were arrested on the 23rd of December 2020 near force headquarters for offering solidarity to their leader Hakainde Hichilema, who was summoned for questioning in relation to how he bought his Kalomo farm about 20 years ago. The cadres were later charged with an offense of idle standing and disorderly conduct. The matter before Principal Magistrate Felix Kauma has since been adjourned to the 5th of February 2021. More in this report.
These are the 9 United Party for National Development UPND supporters among the 20 who were arrested on the 23rd of December 2020 following a fracas that led to the shooting of a state prosecutor, Nsamach Pioka, and a UPND supporter, Joseph Kaunda. The accused had gone to Lusaka Police Force headquarters to give solidarity to party leader Hakainde Hichilema, who was summoned to appear before the police for questioning. The 9 were arrested and dragged to court, where they are now facing a charge of idle and disorderly person, contrary to Section 178 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. The 9, who appeared before Magistrate Felix Kauma this morning for their commencement of trial, were informed that trial in their case was not going to take off due to lack of exhibit. The state applied that the case be adjourned on ground that they did not have the evidence before court to proceed with the case, as the exhibit were in custody of the arresting officer who was not before court. The defense did not object to the application made by the state, however sympathized with the situation that the state had found itself into. Allegations in this case are that the accused persons on the 23rd of December 2020 in Lusaka, jointly and whilst acting together, whilst at a public place, namely along Independence Avenue, conducted themselves in a manner likely to cause a breach of peace. The 9 accused persons before Magistrate Kauma are Eddie Nawa, Sidney Nguluwe, John Walema, Nelson Banda, Wellington Mwanza, Levi Mulowa, a male juvenile is 17, and Nicholas Matonga. The 9 all denied the charge in the last court session. They are expected to appear on the 5th of February 2021 for their commencement of trial. Meanwhile, the 11 members who are also charged with the alleged offense appeared before Magistrate Albert Mwaba for fixing of their trial date. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, has advised all broadcasting stations against requesting their callers to reveal their personal information, such as national registration card numbers, whether in part or in full names and mobile numbers, live on air when participating in promotional campaign programs. IBA Director General Josephine Mapoma says revelation of such details poses a security risk to callers who divulge such information. Ms. Mapoma says this directive follows consultations with the Bank of Zambia, adding that the disclosure of such detailed personal information on air may provide a ripe environment for fraudsters to perpetuate fraud through impersonation. He says this may in turn result in eroding the gains the country has made in migrating people to a digital economy through digital financial services. IBA has therefore directed all broadcasting stations to obtain such details from their listeners or viewers off air in order to avoid public disclosure. On that note, we take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, I'm Wandy. You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala ko mutienda okuni gift na land. Uchinkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest inaluvesigia na mawaipa.
Difficult ya shidia njinga, liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipu sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a Camnet, difficult.
It's communication. We got it.
Inemomi! Powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Bikron, utole noleta nchemfule mungani. Ngecho wachira pose nchinshi. 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempanga. Don't be stupid. We got it.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Health Minister Jonas Chanda has directed the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA to withdraw all unlicensed medicines being used in the treatment of COVID-19. Dr. Chanda says ZAMRA should rise to the challenge and withdraw any medicine that is not authorized for use in the COVID-19 fight. The minister says he has received reports of people using some medicines which have not been authorized and certified for use. He reiterates that the Ministry of Health should work with ZAMRA to withdraw the unauthorized medicine to prevent any further complications complications. He said this during a tour of Minor Soko Military Hospital, which has been added to the isolation centers for COVID-19, though it will only accommodate patients with moderate to less critical signs of the disease. Meanwhile, the country in the last 24 hours has recorded 602 cases out of 4,800 tests conducted, with 9 deaths.
Today, Zambia has recorded 602 new cases out of 4,800 tests done in the last 24 hours. The cumulative number of cases nationally is now 38,207. Furthermore, a total of 385 patients are admitted to our health facilities, and 254 are on oxygen therapy, 17 of whom are critical. And I should also just say that sadly, in the last 24 hours, we've recorded 9 COVID-19 related deaths in our healthcare facilities in the last 24 hours. The cumulative number of deaths is now 559. 216 COVID deaths and 366 associated, 7 yet to be classified. Among the people dying from COVID-19 related complications of note is a worrying proportion of people who come in very critical and irreversible conditions, and those with comorbidities, other diseases underlying. And also those who are brought in dead or already deceased, BIDs, brought in dead. Allow me to reiterate on the public health measures, which stipulates among other rules that all persons displaying symptoms, that's serious symptoms, must alert and seek medical attention timely for assessment and management. We will not allow any products that are not licensed or certified by the Ministry of Health, whether in form of injections or tablets, and ZAMRA has to rise to its charge, and we expect that these products have to be withdrawn from the market immediately.
The National Water Supply and Sanitation Council has called on all water utilities to ensure that acceptable service delivery is maintained amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. NWASCO Acting Director Peter Mutale says the utilities should ensure that water supply is consistently made available to all the places with minimal water supply interruptions, and that supplied water is meeting the national drinking water standards to avert any waterborne diseases outbreaks in vulnerable areas during the COVID-19 pandemic. He has also appealed to customers to utilize online or electronic platforms to contact their service providers and when settling their water supply and sanitation bills in order to avoid congestions at customer centers. The acting director has further advised the utilities to ensure that they stock enough disinfection and treatment materials in view of the possible lockdowns, which may adversely affect the supply of the chemicals. Meanwhile, Mr. Mutale has also implored the utilities to ensure that all staff and customers mask up at all times, observe social distance of not less than 1 meter in workplaces and customer pay points, and to ensure that hand washing and sanitizing facilities are provided for the members of staff and customers, adding that all utilities must follow all health guidelines and circulars on COVID-19 that have been issued by government.
The National Water Supply and Sanitation Council would like to call on all water utility companies to ensure that acceptable service delivery is maintained amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The utilities should ensure that water supply is consistently made available to all the places with minimal water supply interruptions, and that water supplied should meet national drinking water standards to avert any waterborne disease outbreaks in vulnerable areas during the COVID-19 pandemic. We would like also to appeal to customers to utilize online or electronic platforms to contact their service providers and when setting their water supply and sanitation bills in order to avoid congestion at customer centers. And where possible, customers can be allowed to capture their meter readings and send them to the utilities through applicable online platforms. Further, commercial utilities are advised to ensure that they stock enough disinfection and treatment materials in view of the possible lockdowns which may adversely affect the supply of these chemicals. And in line with the new normal, all utilities must ensure that all staff and customers mask up at all times. Observe social distance of not less than 1 meter in workplaces and customer pay points, and to ensure that hand washing and sanitizing facilities are provided for the members of staff and customers, and that all utilities must follow all health guidelines and circulars on COVID-19 that have been issued by government.
The Alliance for Community Action is deeply concerned with the non-disclosure of the purported well-wishers who settled legal debts owed to the Treasury by former ministers who illegally stayed in office after the dissolution of Parliament in 2016 as ordered by the Constitutional Court. ACA Information and Advocacy Officer Jimmy Maliseni notes that the lack of disclosure will do little to put aside concerns of money laundering and false declarations. Mr. Maliseni notes that considering that the PF is the party currently wielding political power in Zambia, they have a higher responsibility to conduct their affairs in a transparent manner, especially those pertaining to financial donations. He has also noted that the Patriotic Front need to disclose the funders in order for the public to ensure that they do not receive favors in form of contracts from the government. In view of the foregoing, it is therefore in the public interest that donors who made donations to the PF ministers are known. This disclosure is in the public interest because such entities must be held accountable for their sources of income, and they must also prove that they do not have any conflict of interest.
So as the Alliance for Community Action, we are very concerned by the lack of clarity surrounding the repayment, and we're using the word purported, not because we are trying to be malicious, but it is because there is this lack of clarity that causes a lot of questions around the issue of ministers that had stayed illegally in office paying back money as ordered by the Constitutional Court. And primarily our concern is that the Patriotic Front is the party that wields political power at the moment. They essentially constitute the executive. And so in a dispensation that is supposed to be democratic and open, when such payments, and we're not talking about small monies, when such payments are made, those benefactors must be made public as well. That is important because for a party whose officials are still in power, and some of them still in office among those ministers, we need to know and we need to be assured as the general public that none of those benefactors or the people that have paid on behalf of the erring ministers are going to get advantages or other benefits of their own in return for the benevolence that they seemingly have extended to ministers that owe the public monies that they earned when they were illegally in office. So it is not that we want those people to show us their private businesses or their private earnings. What we want to know is that if person A or company A did pay for Minister A or former Minister B, that person has not in return been given, for example, a public contract or any other advantage, you know, as a citizen or as a foreign citizen. As a matter of fact, Mr. Mwila has not even mentioned those individuals with regards of nationality or those entities with regards to nationality. So it is only a case of fair fairness and transparency that those individuals and those business entities are made public, so that then we are sure that these are simply good and helpful individuals that have decided to bail out the erring ministers.
And still in the news, Persons suffering from HIV have been urged to desist from promiscuous activities with the view of infecting others, describing the tendency as deadly and immoral. It is estimated that 1.2 million people are living with HIV in Zambia. HIV activist Agnes Banda notes that if Zambia is to combat the pandemic by the year 2020, there is need to exhibit self-responsibility among people living with the virus. She adds that indulging in illicit activities would equally weaken their immune system, hence the need to refrain from things that put their lives at risk and get reinfected.
The other thing which is also important, which most people make mistake about, because I've heard people who are HIV positive, that they sleep around with a view of infecting others. That is a deadly decision. If you know that you're HIV positive, then you are sleeping around with a view of infecting others. You might be the one who will be reinfected and die quicker than you were supposed to die. So it's better to practice, those who are still sexually active but they are HIV positive, always practice safe sex. And for those that are in marriage, even if you are both positive, the husband and the wife are both HIV positive, please don't stop practicing safe sex. Always use condoms. And
the Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities has pointed out that community-based rehabilitation is key towards safeguarding the plight of persons with cross-cutting disabilities in the country. Agency Director General Julian Mwape says most people living with disabilities are found in the community, hence it is ideal that measures are undertaken at grassroots level. Meanwhile, Ms. Mwape has emphasized the need for various ministries and organizations to mainstream disability issues in view of promoting an inclusive society. She has since hailed the participation of non-governmental organizations in community-based rehabilitation, saying it will go a long way in addressing disability issues in the country.
So I'll tell you that Zambia has two approaches of implementing and providing rehabilitation and everything for persons with disabilities. The first one is mainstreaming. Mainstreaming is what the ministries, the various ministries do by ensuring that they include persons with disabilities in the services that they are providing and ensuring that they have numbers that they've catered for persons with disabilities. Then in the community, the strategy that works well is community-based inclusive development. So this is a strategy that complements the Disability Act, which is the act that runs the agency. So together in the community, the CBID, the Disability Act, we are able to rehabilitate persons with disabilities. And I should take it to this moment to say that most persons with disabilities are found in the communities. So it's a very good strategy, and it's something I think all of us should support and try to understand, because it has about 6 areas of focus. All these areas, if we try to ensure that we include persons with disabilities in these 6 areas, we are going to have a rehabilitated and an independent disabled person.
We now take our second set of commercials. To stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
We all miss the days we would play outside, go to school, and visit fun places. But now, we all have to take care to prevent the coronavirus. Viruses are really tiny particles that we can't see with just our eyes, so we need to keep ourselves safe by practicing good hygiene, such as washing our hands with soap and clean water regularly. We can also use hand sanitizer to keep our hands clean. It's also important for us to keep our bodies and surroundings clean. We must also avoid handshakes, hugs, and standing close to other people in public places. This is called social distancing. The coronavirus has affected millions of people around the world, so we need to stay safe. In the meantime, we can keep ourselves busy by reading a book, watching TV, and doing some schoolwork. There's so much we can do indoors. Stay safe, stay home, and prevent COVID-19. We're all in this together.
This advert is sponsored by the Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
The Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Tasting Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitality Plus Iron. Great tasting Cowbell Choco, a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your
Enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GoTV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, Brazil's vaccination program has begun in earnest after its health regulator granted emergency approval for the use of the China's Sinovac and Britain's AstraZeneca vaccines. Monica Calanzas, a 54-year-old nurse in Sao Paulo, was the first to receive the jab in the country of 210 million inhabitants as Latin America's largest nation began an immunization program that's been subject to months of delay and political disputes. Brazil currently has 6 million doses of Sinovac's CoronaVac ready to distribute in the next few days and is awaiting the arrival of a further 2 million doses of the version manufactured by AstraZeneca and partner Oxford University. Meanwhile, Brazil's death toll from the virus that has infected some 8.5 million people edged towards 210,000. Due to a recent surge in acute cases, the health system recently collapsed, with oxygen having to be airlifted into the metropolis.
Jose Costa lost his daughter to coronavirus in November. He's planting a tree in her memory. This tree symbolizes something that lasts forever to me. It symbolizes eternity for me. I know that the name of my daughter is recorded here, and I will come back here again and again. I will see this tree grow. With so many Brazilians losing loved ones to the coronavirus and unable to attend normal funerals, many are choosing memorials such as this as a way to deal with their grief. Many of these families did not have the opportunity to bury their loved ones. It was a very painful process. COVID-19 has hit Brazil hard. More than 200,000 people have been killed. Now, though, people are starting to hope for life without the virus after the approval of 2 vaccines. Nurse Monica Calasan's the first to get the shot. I'm so proud of this great opportunity, and tell you, as a Brazilian, let's vaccinate. Don't be afraid. This is what we need. This is what we're looking forward to. Brazilian authorities approved both the Chinese-developed Sinovac and the UK-made AstraZeneca shots for emergency use. Vaccination rollout has been slow in Brazil compared to its neighbours, after the approval process was fraught with conflict, as allies of President Jair Bolsonaro sought to cast doubt on the efficacy of the Sinovac vaccine. The government says it will begin a nationwide rollout of vaccines on Wednesday.
We now get into sports news. In sports news, Football Association of Zambia National League outfit Maestro United Zambia Muza is on the verge of taking legal action against clubs it says have failed to pay its players transfer fees believed to be close to £1 million kwacha. Super League sides Zanaco, Lusaka Dynamos and Buildcon are some of the clubs that acquired players from the Mazabuka-based academy but have failed to finish paying without giving reasons. This is according to Muza director Keith Mwemba. Mwemba says Zanaco FC signed Cameroonian player Baba Basile while Dynamos got defender Emmanuel Habasimbi and believed to have gone mute despite the players being among the starters. Buildcon, who have deposited about 80% of an undisclosed fee for striker Konlade Luchanga, who was ejected by their rival Forest Rangers, are also on the list of creditors. He also expressed disappointment with Mapulanga Haba FC, who acquired the services of Mande Walia, who they have since taken to Kitwe United without paying the balance. He says the club has exhausted all the means of claiming for its money, including writing to the Football Association of Zambia FAS, which he says has not been helpful. Mwemba, a prominent Zambian lawyer, states that if the clubs continue faulting, he will have no choice but to take the legal route, which he says may be expensive for the clubs involved. None of the clubs mentioned have responded to a press query, while FA's General Secretary Adrian Kashala's number is unreachable as he is believed to have travelled out to Cameroon for the CHAN tournament.
We copied the letter that we wrote to FAS, to the National Sports Council of Zambia. National Sports Council of Zambia was courteous enough to even assist, at least to try to even write to Zambia Sugar Company to assist. Those were just copied the letter. We wrote to FAS. FAS has never responded to us. For me, I'm very disappointed. I will not even miss my words. When you receive a letter, you must be able to respond. Tell us if you are going to help us, or if it's difficult, give an answer. We are stakeholders in football, and these clubs, we are councillors. FAS exists for our sake. We also exist to help them, to make their work easier. When you do receive a letter, it's just a matter of courtesy. You must respond. this is not the only thing that they have not responded to us. I am very frustrated right now. We have written to them to help us to intervene on the issue of the pitch. They have not responded. We have written us to help us to inform teams that owe us money. We have sold players and taken players on loan to other teams. Teams are not paying us. I'm paying money from my pocket. No one is, the clubs are owing us money. FAS is not chipping in to assist us. So let them write to us. Are they going to assist us? Look, we are trying to be very respectful here. I'm actually resisting the temptation of even engaging lawyers to actually take some of these matters to court. But I understand that in football, these are football matters. We don't want to go to court. But see, all these clubs, it's embarrassing. Lusaka Dynamos, they owe us man. Buildcon, they owe us man. Okay, Lumwana Radiants, those we can understand because they wrote to us and say, okay, our budget comes in January, which will pay you. I understand that. Mpulungu Haba, they owe us money. Okay, you understand what I'm talking about? Quito United, they owe us money. We have written to FAS to assist us because this is the money we need to actually run football. It's expensive. Why is FAS? Let FAS tell me, let them give me an answer. I don't want to say maybe I'm complaining in the media. I have written to them, they have not responded, so I'm going to talk to the media. We have written letters to Lusaka Dynamos. I don't know how many, countless times. For Lusaka Dynamos is also my team. Okay, I was at Lusaka Dynamos. I've come along with that team. So for me, I consider them to be my personal friends. I'm actually very disappointed. I must make it very public that I'm very disappointed with Lusaka Dynamos. I'm very, very disappointed.
And still in sports news, Chipolo Polo coach Mitchell says he expects an action-packed thriller against the Taifa Stars of Tanzania during the Group D African Nations Championship CHAN opener. And Tanzania coach says he expects his lads to burn out all their energy when they face Zambia at Limbe Stadium on Tuesday. During a pre-match press conference at Limbe Stadium, Mitchell said he knew at what level his team was after a list of friendly matches played as part of the build-up to the CHAN tournament. He said that his team will treat Tanzania with respect as an adversary in Tuesday's clash. Mitchell said his team will be looking to planting a winning seed in the opening match. Meanwhile, Football Association of Zambia FAS President Andrew Kamanga, who has visited the team in Morocco, says Zambians expect the team to go all the way to the finish line. Kamanga tells the team that following the intense preparation, the nation is expectant of a positive outing. The team left the country for Cameroon on the 29th of December 2020 in readiness for the CHAN tournament, which has since kicked off. That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. NDC youths complain of segregative awarding of contracts and opportunities to PF-aligned youths. Lack of readily available exhibits in the case of 9 arrested UPND cadres forces an adjournment. Health Minister directs ZAMRA to withdraw all unlicensed COVID-19 medicines being administered on patients. And in international news, Brazil approves 2 vaccines as death toll nears 210,000. And in sports news, Zambia takes on Tanzania in CHAN opener on Tuesday. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Philippians 2, verse 3 to 4, and it reads, "In whatever you do, do not let selfishness or pride be your guide. Be humble and honor others more than yourselves. Don't be interested only in your own life, but care about the lives of others too." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.